Hello, my name is Venning. I'm a professional cartoonist, and my challenge to you is to draw a strip cartoon in 2, 3 or however many boxes it takes to tell your story. And to help you with this, I'm going to give you a crash course in cartooning, starting with the eyes, circles, and dots. Now these eyes are fine, but you can give them even more expression with just a couple of eyebrows. Look at those 2 lines, turn that into angry eyes. Here we have happy eyes, because your eyebrows go up when you smile, you can't help it. And right up here, eyebrows up here, this is of course surprised or shocked eyes. And sometimes you can even mix and match the eyes. See what happens when you combine angry eyes with smiley face, evil eyes. And you start with the eyes, and from there you can build a character, and it can be a person, or it can be an animal, or it can be like an inanimate object. How about this? Suddenly it becomes an evil coffee cup. So let's quickly create a character, show you what I mean. These are going to be sad eyes. See the eyebrows up like that? Sad eyes. Who do they belong to? They belong to a sad puppy, because this is the story of the sad puppy. Look at his little tail, that hasn't wagged in ages. Just to underline the point. But why is the puppy sad? Is the puppy sad because his cruel owner has thrown him out the house? Get out! Get out of the house, sad puppy. Is the puppy sad because it's pouring with rain and he's getting absolutely drenched? And look, there's a puddle, at least I think it's a puddle. No, ladies and gentlemen, he isn't sad because he's been thrown out of the house. He isn't sad because it's pouring with rain. He's sad because a bolt of lightning has hit him in the head and set fire to him. There we are, there's smoke coming off him. But you get the idea, there's a little story there about the sad puppy. Okay. Now, when you do a strip cartoon, it's got to be lively, it's got to be something exciting to look at. And if you draw movement lines, that really helps. Look, here's a ball, a couple of movement lines here, a couple of movement lines here and here and here. Suddenly that ball is spinning. It's actually spinning on the page. If you draw lines like this, you can make it look as though it's going fast. If you put a cloud of dust here in its wake, looks like it's going really fast. And you can do that with people, you can do that with cars, you can do that with anything you want. Makes it go fast, movement lines. And here's another little trick. If you put a little shadow underneath the ball, it kind of grounds it. See, because it's a blank expanse of white paper. And rather than draw the whole of the background, you just put a little shadow there, shows you where the ground is, shows you how high the ball is off the ground. You see, and you can do that with people. Look at this, quickly. Lots of movement lines. Shadow. And you see his legs moving, his arms is moving. What's happened? It's fallen on a banana skin. Get the idea? That looks as though, you know, there's a lot of animation, there's a lot to look at there. Now when you do your strip cartoon, you might want to do speech bubbles. You want your characters to actually talk, and that's great. So, but if you're going to do speech bubbles, you've got to learn the first rule of speech bubbles. This is the first rule of speech bubbles. Always do the words first. It's pretty obvious why, because, you know, if you draw a speech bubble and you can't fit all the words in, you're going to have to cram them in, nobody's going to be able to read them. So do the words first and then put the bubble around them. I don't actually use speech bubbles in my strip cartoons, I just have a little line leading to the dialogue. But it's important to remember that in English we read left to right, so it's always a good idea to have the first character speaking on the left and the second one on the right. If you don't do that, you get situations like this. How are you? I'm fine, and it's the wrong way around. When you read it, you say, I'm fine, how are you? So remember to put it on the left. If you're doing your cartoon in English, left to right. We're coming up with a story. That's often the hardest thing, coming up with a story. But the great thing about cartoons is if you just put a couple of images together, it kind of sparks a story sometimes. Sometimes it's harder not to tell a story than it is to tell a story. And listen, I'll give you an example here. Pair of eyes, man, what's he doing? He's throwing something. What's he throwing? He's throwing a stick. Okay, the man throws a stick. Not much of a story so far. Who's he throwing the stick for? Throwing the stick for this dog. Waggy tail, there we are, movement lines. Now that's a pretty mundane story, but you can, with just adding one more element, turn it into something completely different. Look at this. Ba, ba, ba. Suddenly the dog has jumped over the cliff chasing the stick that's been thrown, and the story becomes a thriller. It's literally a cliffhanger. So put pictures together, give the picture animation, make it come to life, and just basically enjoy yourself as you draw, because that's the most important thing. Enjoy yourself and don't worry about how good the drawing is, because it's not about the drawing, it's about the idea behind it. Thank you.